The GDP number, which obviously disappointed many, was it that bad? I mean, 2.5% GDP growth, we'd be killing for here in the UK at the moment. I'm sure in the US too.
Good morning to you, Wolf. I think it's important to put that into context. You know, China really needs about 5.5% growth to do all the things that it needs to do to keep its economy running and its people employed, something we can get to in a bit. So while you're correct, 2.5% for most is not that bad. But for China, 2.5% is a significant slowdown. And certainly it's far from the expectations that they set themselves back in March, which was a growth projection of 5.5%. But Will, this is an economy that is really showing signs of trouble. There are two numbers that came out that really concern me. One, though, is the 19.9% youth unemployment rate. That's ages 16 to 24. That's a real problem for Xi Jinping over the long term, Wolf. And what they're looking to do to fix this problem doesn't convince me that this is the right medicine for all that ails China's economy. They've resorted to the old playbook, Wolf, of putting a lot of money into infrastructure development, but that's not going to help those numbers that we see for youth employment.
And so what's likely to happen here? I mean, any economy that's relied on excessively strong growth rates, when things start to turn, the fear is, does it collapse totally when you no longer have the supportive tailwind of supernormal growth? Is that likely? Are we going to see a total collapse, or is this just a temporary pullback?
Well, I think the real question is how much of this is really COVID related. You know, there's been a lot of talk about what zero COVID has done to economic performance. I think there's a lot of truth to that, but there's also a lot of policy. We say missteps. It may be intentionally what Xi Jinping intends to do, but you know, things like pulling back on, as you introduced the segment, on the tech sector. So a lot of those youth who are going to be employed were previously employed in tech and the gig economy. And so I'm not sure that after we get beyond the COVID situation, structurally, China's policies and its economy is designed to really meet what I consider to be the new normal for China's economy.
And to what extent does this slightly softer economic outlook hurt President Xi Jinping's political standing? I mean, we've always thought of him as all-powerful over the last few years. Is that changing at all, or not really?
Well, I don't think its power is changing. Again, I often say I think there may be some pause with him with respect to the policy direction, at least in the short term. But I think we should think that Xi Jinping is pretty assured that that third term that he's looking for. And one sign of that, Wolf, is that there are already discussions about him traveling in the fall to Southeast Asia for G20 and for the APEC, and potentially even a meeting with Biden. So that says to me that he feels pretty secure in his position going forward.
And just finally, the tensions as it relates to Taiwan with the US, do you think those have at least peaked in the short term, even if not solved for the long term?
I hope so. Look, I think if you look at what the Chinese response was with the Senator Markey visit, we saw about 30 warships, 5 warplanes that exercise from China. So that is certainly a step, about half of what we saw with Nancy Pelosi. So we are seeing some modulation in terms of response, which says to me that China is looking to try and control what has been an escalatory ladder here. So, but I think it's a short-term issue. Taiwan is a long-term core interest of China, so it's not going away. But I am fairly confident that we're beyond the worst of what we've seen in terms of exercises in response to the trips that have been taken to Taiwan.